Today's thought is be careful with your words. Once they are said, they can be only forgiven, not forgotten. Good morning, students. Welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home, studying well and completing your work on time. This video is for the students of class 8th, subject English. And today in this video, we are going to summarize our two chapters. One is from It So Happened and another one is from PC grammar book. Dear students, today in this video, we shall revise our chapter number 6, that is The Fight, which is written by Ruskin Bond and it is taken from It So Happened book. And our another chapter, that is chapter number 15, The Prepositions, which is taken from PC grammar book. Students, basically in this video, we are not going to read these chapters in detail, because we have already discussed them in detail. So, we shall just have a review of these chapters in this video today. So, first of all, let us revise our chapter number 6, that is The Fight, which is written by Ruskin Bond. It is taken from It So Happened book. Before start reading the summary of the chapter, first of all, let us see the introduction. The lesson, The Fight by Ruskin Bond, tells us a tale about two young boys, Ranji and Suraj. Ranji had come to Rajpur only recently. He had not yet made any friends there. There were hills and forests on all sides of Rajpur. He roamed in these places alone. It was very hot. One day he discovered a pool in the forest. Two young boys who fight in the beginning regarding who owns the possession of the pool in the forest. Once they get tired and exhausted, they decided to continue their fight the next day. The following day, both of them somehow end up becoming great friends who are willing to help each other in learning and becoming a better version of themselves. So this was a small introduction of the chapter. Now let us read the summary of part 1 of the chapter to know about what was happened with Ranji in the Rajpur. The pool. The water in the pool was clear. It came there from a cluster of rocks. In the monsoon, the water came in large quantities. During the summer, the flow was weak, yet it never dried up like the pools of Rajputana deserts. Ranji into the pool. Ranji got into the water. He knew swimming. He had so far known only the muddy pools of Rajputana deserts. This pool was much better. His body was free of fat. It shone in the sunlight water. Another boy. The next day, Ranji came again. He enjoyed a lot in the coolness of the water. After an hour, he lay to relax on the smooth rocks. It was then that he noticed a boy staring at him in a hostile manner. He was a little older than Ranji and had a well-built body. He stood on the edge of the pool. He seemed waiting for Ranji to explain his presence there. The verbal duel. Verbal duel means fight or argument. The boy asked Ranji why he was there. Ranji wanted to be friendly, so he ignored the other boy's hostility. He asked him to join him in the enjoyment. The other boy did not like it. He came closer to Ranji, who was now sitting on the rock. He said that he was a stranger boy and did not like to talk to villagers. Ranji said that he was a fighter, not a villager. The stranger boy tried his best to scare away Ranji. When Ranji did not run away, he warned that he would beat him. The real fighter. Now Ranji claimed vehemently. Vehemently means with great feeling of being a fighter. The other boy claimed of being a warrior. The stranger boy made a strange hissing sound. They stared each other in the eye for a minute. Then the stranger boy slapped Ranji across the face with all his strength. Ranji felt dizzy. Thick red finger marks were there on his face. Then Ranji pushed a hard, bony fist into the other's face. In the water. Then they were at each other's throats. Fighting, they rolled into the shallows of the pool. Even in the water, they continued fighting. Yet, after 5 minutes, both of them stood exhausted. Standing at a distance from each other, both of them spoke proudly of their strength. Then the stranger boy had an inspiration. He proposed to continue fighting next day. Ranji agreed. Then they left the forest by different routes. So this was a summary of part 1. Did they continue the fight next day? To know about this, let us read the summary of part 2 now. Ranji away from the pool. At home, Ranji could not hide his injuries. His mother insisted on his staying at home for the rest of the day. In the evening, he was able to slip out to the bazaar. There, he took some lemonade and jalebis. When he had finished it, he saw the stranger boy coming down the road. Both of them scowled at each other. Next day at the pool. Ranji reached the pool unwillingly next day. He was feeling weak and knew he would be beaten in another fight. Yet, how could he refuse the challenge? As long as he fought, he had a right to the pool. He saw the stranger boy on a rock on the other side of the pool. Seeing Ranji, he shouted a challenge. He asked Ranji to come to his side and fight. Ranji asked him to come to his side. The stranger boy ridiculed. He said that Ranji could not swim the length of that pool. Ranji accepts the challenge. Ranji dived straight into the water. He surfaced on the other side without a splash. The stranger boy's mouth hung open in amazement. Ranji becomes his teacher. The stranger boy exclaimed with surprise how he could dive so well. He asked Ranji if he would teach him how to dive. Ranji told him or taught him how to dive. The stranger boy landed in the water flat on his belly. There was noise which sent the birds screaming from the trees. Ranji laughed a lot. The stranger boy came out the pool spouting water like a whale. Then Ranji executed another fine dive to teach him. It went on for some time. Then the stranger boy said that Ranji must teach him every day. Ranji agreed. The friendship. The two told their name to each other. Then the stranger boy asked Ranji if he was not strong. Ranji agreed and said that he means Suraj was a real Pahalwan. The stranger boy means Suraj said that he would become the world's champion wrestler. Then, looking critically at Ranji, he said that Ranji was strong too. However, he said that he was bony. He invited him to have food with him. Suraj proposed a deal. If Ranji taught him diving, he would make Ranji a Pahalwan too. Again Ranji agreed. It is our pool, said Suraj at last. Nobody else can come here without our permission. Ranji said that nobody would dare to come there now because now they were friends. So this was the summary of part 2, and the conclusion of this chapter is the fight summary teaches us that fighting will not do anyone any good, and we should never be too proud. Instead help one another and establish love, not hate with each other. Now in this video, now let us revise the another chapter, that is chapter number 15, the preposition. It is taken from P.C. Wren's grammar book. So now let us see what is the meaning of prepositions. Prepositions are the words which are used to connect the different nouns, pronouns and phrases in a sentence. Or we can say a preposition is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun to show in what relation the person or thing denoted by it stands in regard to something else. To clarify it, let us see some examples. Number 1, he found the book on the table. Number 2, she went to sleep early. So as you can see that the highlighted words are prepositions. So let's see how many kinds of prepositions are there. Number 1, simple prepositions. Number 2, double prepositions. Number 3, phrase prepositions, or we can say phrasal prepositions. Number 4, compound prepositions. Number 5, participle prepositions. So there are total 5 kinds of prepositions: simple, double, phrase, compound and participle. Now let us read all the kinds of prepositions in detail. So first of all, let us see simple prepositions. These prepositions are constructed by only one word like on, at, about, with, after, for, etc. To clarify it, let's see an example. He found the book about dogs on the table or in the bedroom. As you can see that highlighted words are simple prepositions because these are constructed by only one word. So now let's see the meaning of double prepositions. These prepositions are formed by combining two words or two simple prepositions. For example, into, within, upon, onto, etc. To clarify it, let us see an example. The dog jumped onto the bed and left marks upon the sheets. So as you can see that onto and upon both are double prepositions. Now let us see the meaning of compound prepositions. These prepositions are two-word prepositions like according to, because of, next to, due to, etc. To clarify it, let's see an example. He was upset because of his son's behavior. So because of is compound preposition here. Now let us see what is the meaning of participle prepositions. Participles are actually verbs that end with en or ing, as these verbs were commonly and very popularly used as prepositions by the people. These verbs have been given special status as prepositions like considering, during, given, including, notwithstanding, etc. To clarify it, let's see an example. Considering what he had to work with, he did a pretty good job. So as you can see that considering is participle preposition, but here to is not participle preposition, it is simple preposition. Now let us see the last preposition, that is phrase prepositions. These prepositions are a combination of the preposition plus a modifier that is optional plus the object. They are used to modify the nouns, verbs or sentences and also complete clauses like at home, in time, with me, from my father, under the blanket, etc. To clarify it, let's see an example. The clothes left on the bed have been ironed and kept back. As you can see that on the bed is phrasal or phrase preposition. Students, here is the list of 3 prepositions which are used in our daily life. Number 1 is prepositions of place. Number 2 is prepositions of time. Number 3 is prepositions of movement. Now let us read about all these 3 prepositions in detail. Number 1, prepositions of place. Prepositions of place refer to those prepositions that can be used to show where something is located. There are 3 basic prepositions of place, that is on, at, in, etc. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, on the radio, at reception, in a taxi. Now let us see what is the meaning of prepositions of time. The prepositions are often used to refer to times and dates. There are 3 basic prepositions of time, that is on, at, in, etc. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, on Christmas. Number 2, at 8 o'clock. Number 3, in 16 years time. Now let us see the last preposition, that is prepositions of movement. Prepositions of movement show movement from one place to another. There are 9 basic prepositions that pertain to movement, that is on, in, to, towards, through, into, across, over, along, etc. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, I am going to the party. Number 2, he was walking towards me. Number 3, the train went through the tunnel. Let us see what is the object to a preposition. We have seen that the object to a preposition is a noun or pronoun. Sometimes, however, the object to a preposition is an adverb of time or place. To clarify it, let's see an example. Since then, here then means that time, he has not shown his face. Number 2 is sometimes the object to a preposition is an adverbial phrase. To clarify it, let's see an example. Each article was sold at over a ceiling. Number third is a clause can also be the object to a preposition. To clarify it, let's see an example. Pay careful attention to what I am going to say. Number fourth is the object to a preposition when it is a relative pronoun is sometimes omitted. Relative pronoun means which shows relationship between two sentences or words. To clarify it, let's see an example. He is the man I was looking for. So here the word whom is relative pronoun which is omitted and it is understood here. So no need to write here. So this was all about the preposition. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the chapters explained by me. And your homework is do assignment based on chapter number 6, that is the fight of It So Happened book, and chapter number 15, that is the preposition of PC Ren's grammar book, which is uploaded under homework column on EdQuark website. Students, you have to do this assignment in your English Fair notebook. In this video, we are going to discuss homework solution of the homework which was assigned you in lecture number 2 of chapter 6, that is the fight. Students, I have already explained to you the story of part 2 in detail along with word meanings in your previous video. As I assigned you homework which was to be done by you on the basis of your understanding. And your homework was read chapter 6, that is the fight, and write word meanings mentioned in the video. Based on the understanding of the chapter, write the answers of the questions mentioned in the book It So Happened As. Page number 53 and 54, comprehension check, question number 1-2. Students, now let us discuss the meanings of the words which were given you in the homework. Number 1 is scowled, means looked angrily. Number 2 is vigor, means strength. Number 3 is feat, means clever act or special skill. Number 4 is limpid, that is clear. Number 5 is conceded, means admitted. So these were word meanings. Now let us discuss answers of the questions of comprehension check which is on page number 53 and 54 in detail. Question number 1 is, what is it that Ranji finds difficult to explain at home? The answer of the question is, when Ranji got home, he found it difficult to explain the cuts and bruises that showed on his face, leg and arms. It was difficult to conceal the fact that he had been in an unusually violent fight. Question number 2 is, Ranji sees his adversary in the bazaar. Part 1 is, what does he wish to do? The answer of the question is, when Ranji saw his adversary in the bazaar, his first impulse was to turn away and look elsewhere. His second, to throw the lemonade bottle at his enemy. Part 2 is, what does he actually do and why? The answer of the question is, he stood his ground and scowled at his passing adversary. He did neither or neither of the things he wished to, probably because he did not want to initiate a fight in the bazaar. Question number 3 is, Ranji is not at all eager for a second fight. Why does he go back to the pool then? The answer of the question is Ranji felt weak and lazy and not at all eager for the second fight. His body was stiff and sore after the previous day's encounter, but he could not refuse the challenge. Not to turn up at the pool would be an acknowledgement of defeat. He must defy his enemy to the last, or outwit him, for only then could he gain his respect. If he surrendered now, he would be beaten for all time. But to fight and be beaten today left him free to fight and be beaten again. As long as he fought, he had a right to the pool in the forest. Thus, he went back to the pool for fight. Question number 4 is, who was the better swimmer? How do you know it? The answer of the question is, Ranji was the better swimmer. This is evident from the fact that he could dive flawlessly and even swim under water. Suraj, on the other hand, could not or couldn't do either of these things. Question number 5 is, what surprises the warrior? The answer of the question is, the warrior asked Ranji to come over to his side of the pool and fight him. He said that the reason behind Ranji not coming to his side is probably because he could not or couldn't swim the length of the pool. But Ranji could have swum the length of the pool a dozen times without tiring, and here he would show the warrior his superiority. So Ranji slipped out of his vest, dived straight into the water, cutting through it like a knife, and surfaced with hardly a splash. This made the warrior's mouth hang upon or open in amazement. Question number 6 is, now that they are at the pool, why don't they continue the fight? The answer of the question is, now when both of them were at the pool, both of them got into a conversation about diving, and the warrior asked Ranji to teach him how to dive. Ranji gave him the instructions and Suraj tried. Then Suraj asked him to teach him how to swim underwater. Thus, both of them got involved in this and decided to not fight against each other. Instead, they made a pact and promised to help each other. Question number 7 is, Ranji's superiority over the other boy is obvious in the following. Number 1, physical strength. 2, good diving. 3, his being a fighter. 4th, sense of humor. 5th, swimming underwater. 6th, making a good point. 7th, willingness to help. Underline the relevant phrases. The answer of the question is, the relevant phrases that highlighted Ranji's superiority over the other boy are: number 1, good diving; number 2, swimming underwater; number 3, willingness to help. Question number 8 is, what according to you make the two adversaries turn into good friends in a matter of minutes? Explain it as you have understood it. The answer of the question is, according to me, good skills appreciation for each other and their willingness to help each other made the two adversaries turn into good friends in a matter of minutes. The warrior admired Ranji's diving skills and his ability to dive underwater. Ranji, on the other hand, was more than happy to teach him these skills. The warrior, in return, promised to help Ranji become a Pahalwan. Dear students, note the important informations. On Thursday, solution of assignment will be uploaded on EduCark website under homework column. On Friday, test will be conducted and uploaded on EduCark website as well as on your WhatsApp groups. No video lecture will be uploaded on Friday. So that's all for today. This is the end of the lecture. Students, if you like our videos, then click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.